It stinks.
What's up, everybody? Today is Friday, January 6th, 2012. You're listening to episode 164 on tap.
I'm your host, Dale Coulis, and joining me once again is Matt Kohler.
Hey, everybody.
And for those who caught us last episode, as we alluded to at the end, our little sneak peek, this is probably going to be our episode featuring the most non-video game talk out there. I know we've talked about video game movies before on here, but this will be mostly a non-video game movie episode. I'm sure we'll mention a couple of them, but
I'm not.
I may, but no. This is last episode we did pretty much ran down all the games we beat in.
This is a special edition.
This is like the movie version of that.
This is a special.
Special, that's right.
This is an on-tap special.
On-tap special. We're going to run down pretty much our top 10,
the
10
movies
best,
of 2011
yeah,
that we saw. There you go.
And our top 5 worst movies of 2011. Plus, we're just going to give shout-outs and quick thoughts on other noteworthy movies we'd recommend you to see too, so or not see.
I guess we'll throw out two ahead of time. There's a lot of movies I either missed writing down, I'm sure, or just haven't gotten to see yet. Like I haven't gotten to see Drive yet. Sherlock Holmes, like a ton of the newer ones, I just haven't had time to see yet. So
same here. It's just like games. I'm sure there's
quite a few that I want to see that I haven't gotten a chance yet. So,
but we've both seen quite a bit though. We hit the theater a lot this year.
I've watched a lot of older movies. I should actually keep track of how many movies I watch in a year because
I think my tally was like at 55, and I'm pretty sure I probably forgot a handful. I know Matt already mentioned one right before we started recording here that I completely forgot about. So probably more like 60s, probably more that I really saw. So yeah, we're this is like the first time we've done a show like this, so it's probably going to be, we're just kind of winging it here. We got a little rough format, so please bear with us, though. Been looking forward to doing this, something different for sure. So, and since our last episode we recorded was just 2 days ago, I only got one game to talk about in what we've been playing. Well, I guess I did play some pinball, but, that's pinball, but some Marvel pinball. But I'm going to talk about one other game I've only really played since, and that was yesterday. I busted out the DS, and I played a game called Radiant Historia by Atlas. It was an RPG they released a little under a year ago. Came out early 2011. And, yeah, that game is, I read in reviews, gets some comparisons to Chrono Trigger because it involves time travel. And pretty much I only really played a little bit past the prologue. And the way the game incorporates time travel is you're like this top agent in the field in medieval fantasy times, of course, and you get sent out on a mission with 2 subordinates, and I believe the name of the world is Alistra, or that's the name of your hometown, home base, and you're getting like you're supposed to like get this report from a spy from this invading force that's mounting an attack, and so you meet up with the spy, but he ends up getting killed, and so does your 2 subordinates right away. And this is all right in the opening here, so it's not like it's major spoilers or anything, but and all of a sudden you get dealt a major deathly blow from this one major adversary early on. And all of a sudden, you're whisked away into this place called Historia, and there's these two, gosh, they don't even say really who they are. They're like the higher ups. I have no other better word for them right now, but they pretty much, I guess, before you went out on your mission, your superior gave you this book called the White Chronicle, and just said, just think of it as a good luck charm right now, and that's all he said. And this White Chronicle allowed you to be able to be whisked away to this realm called Historia, and it pretty much these 2 higher-ups said you have the ability to change the past now, so you're able to revisit the past and change a big decision you made, which led to those 3 deaths. So all 3 of those people lived, and you ended up just easily repelling this attack that took place and destroyed your home base and saved the lives of thousands. So Yeah, and I guess that is going to involve a lot of time traveling in that game, from what I hear later on. So, the combat was straight up RPG style combat, old school 2D based combat, 2D sprite based, kind of a little bit, kind of like how you remember how the PS1 RPGs did 2D, Matt?
Yeah,
it's kind of like that, a little bit higher graphical textures than 16-bit Super Nintendo and Genesis, but. Yeah, I mean, I really liked the first hour and a half I played of it, and definitely plan on playing some more here soon. So, yeah, that's Radiant Historia. Took me a little under a year to get to it, but glad I did. All right, and now for no more video game talk.
That's right.
All right. Okay, well, we're just going to start off with our top 10 here. I ranked mine in the top 10, man. You said you did yours a little differently?
Yeah, I did. I'll explain it when I get to mine, so.
Alrighty. Okay, so, I will go through my top 10 here, since I just kind of ranked them here. And Matt, feel free. I'm pretty sure we
I'll
talk
throw
about these as we go along here. So, number 10, Cedar Rapids. Gosh, that Ed Helms comedy, like one of his first lead starring roles in a movie here,
yep.
And this delivered, man. It only was in our theaters in town here for like a week here.
Yeah, it was, and actually we didn't even know it was playing. It came out a month and a half after it hit theaters nationwide. We got it, and for one weekend, and it was kind of one of those ways, like, hey, Cedar Rapids is playing, we should go see that. I think it was after didn't we walk out of another movie?
Yeah, it was actually. Yeah, I forgot. I think it might have been Sucker Punch, but
was it?
Maybe.
I don't know. Either way.
But, yeah, I know movies like Cedar Rapids that get, quote-unquote limited theatrical releases, like usually like big CD releases. Yeah. Sometimes our theaters will get them like a month or two after the fact.
Yeah.
But, yeah, Cedar Rapids, man, that was a great comedy, man.
It's kind of weird to explain it. It's an indie comedy, but it's not really like a lot of laugh-out-loud jokes. It's just kind of a happy movie.
Yeah.
Like kind of a feel-good kind of... Like, some of the jokes, John C. Reilly's awesome in it.
Yeah, John C.
Unless you hate him,
yeah.
and then you're going to hate him in this, but...
Oh, he's pretty good in here. There's some movies I can't really stand his comedy, but there's some... I really like that Walk Hard. I thought that was way better than I thought it would be.
Oh, man. We disagree on that one, so...
Oh, you didn't care for that one?
I hate Walk Hard, actually.
Oh, no. But, yeah, I thought he was great in here, and... gosh, yeah, I mean, this movie, yeah... I had a feeling it was going to be pretty good. And like I said, there's like a lot of little laughs leading up to some bigger laughs towards the end. And but yeah, just tells a good story of how a guy, like, breaking out of his small town lifestyle shell and getting introduced to the big world for the first time. So
I think my favorite line out of the movie is the "You look really good with a wiener in your mouth," which is out of nowhere. And I'm not going to spoil anything, but it's such a great line.
I can relate to. There's another character in that movie who his whole shtick is he just tells bad jokes.
Yes.
So, yeah.
You're what I call a real Richard.
Yes. That guy is awesome.
Yes, I can't remember what the guy's name is. I don't know what it is. It's the guy from The Wire. He played Omar on The Wire, and he even references it during the movie.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay. Well, moving on. Number 9. This one surprised me. I thought it would. I guess not surprised me, but I had a feeling it was going to be pretty good. But it was a lot better than I thought it would be. X-Men First Class. Yeah, and I rewatched the X-Men trilogy earlier this year too when I went camping with my dad. It was raining, unfortunately. We were camping, but we borrowed some DVDs to watch the X-Men trilogy too, right around the same time. So I actually saw this one twice in the theater.
Yeah.
Because I know my dad wanted to see it, and I saw it first with you. I saw it the very next day, and I remember you took someone to see it too, and we saw it there too, same time, ironically. But I think Magneto and Professor X, the two actors that played them, they stole the show. Especially Magneto. I thought he stole the whole movie.
Continuity be damned. I thought this was the best out of them. Like I wasn't a big fan of the original trilogy. I liked the first two, and the third. I mean, honestly, man, the third pretty much everybody hates. But
actually, no. When I rewatched it, the third one held up surprisingly better than I thought it would. I wouldn't say it's the best.
We got Walk Hard and X-Men 3 now.
I'm not saying it's the best out of the trilogy. I still think it's the weakest out of the trilogy, but it wasn't as bad as I thought. It was actually...
I feel it's already a weak trilogy to begin with, let alone so. I don't know. It's Bryan Singer was good for what he was doing if
Yeah.
he would have continued it, but I think they hit the right tone and had it more serious with this. It's just that the continuity's kind of messed up for everything now, like to the point where I don't even think they can salvage it. But
I think Fox said it's still part of the official continuity, right?
yeah, oh yeah. Well, so is Wolverine, but I mean, honestly, Wolverine was Xavier was walking at the end of Wolverine, and that took place like 20 years later. So, what are you gonna do? But
yeah, there's.
I'm just saying, like, continuity be damned. It was like, as far as acting, storytelling, everything else. Like, if you just watch it as a movie, I thought it was a really good movie and the best out of all of them so far.
Yeah. I will say give it a nod towards having an awesome throwaway line of dialogue to explain something explain why Mystique is in here when she's in the other movies that take place 30 years later. And I have no idea if it's actually part of her special powers in the comics or not. When Beast tells Mystique, is like, it turns out you have some special kind of cell structure where you'll age at like 3 times slower than everyone else. And it's like, okay, I guess that.
As far as I know, she's really old in the comics as well.
Is she? Okay. Yeah. It seemed like a conveniently placed line of dialogue at the time. Like I said, I had no idea how it is to her actually in the comics. But yeah, definitely go see X-Men First Class. Way better than I thought it would be. Number 8, Mission Impossible, Ghost Protocol. Yeah, I guess it's. I don't think I remember. I'm losing my voice. Matt, cover for me. Say why this movie is awesome. I'll take a drink of water.
It's awesome because it still makes Tom Cruise seem relatively a decent human being, despite all he does to prove otherwise. But no, I actually just saw this yesterday too. I really enjoyed it too, and I think it was made by one of the Pixar guys, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong. I think it was the guy that did The Incredibles who did this one. But no, man, there was a lot of good stuff in this. I do grow a little tired of all like we're gonna break into the Kremlin. Like, they always have to one-up themselves in each movie, and I felt it was the same way with National Treasure. And it's just, every time I see one of these adventure movies, they're like, we're gonna have to break into the moon is next. It just, they keep one-upping each other to the point where it's ridiculous. But that aside, I still enjoyed the movie and the twists and turns and the acting and everything I thought was fine in it. The stunts are amazing, the story, just all the crap in it. It was a lot of fun. It was a good. Like, I found myself really enjoying it at the theater, which I don't think I've really enjoyed a movie at the theater in a long time.
Yeah.
So, I shouldn't say I haven't found myself having a lot of, like, fun, like a good adventure action movie.
I thought this had some definite high highs.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole Kremlin break-in, break-out, great.
The Dubai Tower
great
is
CG.
probably my favorite part.
Really awesome CG and great final boss fight. Yeah, I love just the special effects. I kept constantly questioning myself, like, all right, I know Hollywood's capable of damn near anything these days, but how do they pull this off? And really, and they made some of it. There were a few, like, come on, how's that? Commando moments, I'll say, at least for lack of a better phrase, where it was like, really, how's that possible? But a lot of it they made it seem somewhat plausible, believable, which I like in action, which makes an action movie even better for me. But yeah, Tom Cruise is just spectacular in it, and I know it definitely helps that they space these movies out a bit, because I think it was like 5 years since MI3.
Something like that, yeah.
Like 06, I want to
I've
say.
liked all of them. Like, 2 is just a dumb action movie, but I've liked all of them. With the 2 is alright, I guess. There's just so many stupid things in it that keep it from being great. But I think 3 was still my favorite up until this point. I still like 3 a lot, though.
I'm glad this one didn't start the way 3 started, though I hate... A pet peeve of mine, anyways, is when a movie starts off showing you, like, a big cliffhanger point in the movie late, like an hour later on or so. I hate that. It's a pet peeve of mine. And I'm glad they didn't do it for the 4th movie. But, I guess moving on. Number 7, Take Me Home Tonight. Damn good comedy. I remember going to it thinking this is going to be this is probably going to be a decent, throwback 80s comedy flick, good popcorn flick. And
see, I thought I talked you into this one because I know you were kind of on the ropes, but I was like, I really want to see that. Nobody else wanted to see it.
I remember thinking, it looks like it'd be okay, but not one I'd want to rush out to the theaters to see.
No, I think we had talked about being a fan of the One Crazy Night movies. like if you wanted like the genre of movies, like
party night movies,
like Can't Hardly Wait and all those ones. Like regardless of how cheesy they are, they're kind of
cigarettes.
fun. Yeah, they're kind of fun to watch and like throwback. And I'm a fan of '80s music and just '80s in general. So to have a movie that kind of took that
aesthetic.
Yeah, I liked it. There's a lot of good one-liners in it as well. I think the nice glasses asshole, I think, was one part where that got us both. Mm-hmm. If you know what I'm talking about.
I think I remember. Yeah.
Yeah, that's some good stuff in there, but
brings back memories of old classic places that used to be like Suncoast Video.
Yep.
And oh man, just really captured the '80s. And
I put this in the same league as Cedar Rapids as like a good indie comedy that it just kind of like a feel good story to it. And it's not like, I don't want to say it's cynical. Like most comedies these days are like mean-spirited and cynical, and this one I didn't feel that way about it. So there's a few comedies that came out like under the radar that I thought were that way this summer. Mm-hmm. They didn't go for dumb jokes. They went for kind of mild humor, I guess. But
yep. Yeah. So definitely. Yeah. Like I guess Mission Impossible so far of all the ones I named was the only one I went in and going, all right, this is going to be good, and was really about as pretty dang good I thought it was going to be. Yeah, but like this and X-Men Cedar Rapids, those three just impressed me a lot more than I thought they would.
Yeah.
Number 6, Harold and Kumar Christmas.
Well, that's in your top 10?
Yep. Yeah, I know I'm probably higher on this than you, but I guess I really like the last two Harold and Kumars. I guess the second one was a little bit of a step down, but I still generally liked it pretty well. This one, I don't know, dude. This one did it pretty good for me. The more I thought about it, the more I liked it after the fact. I thought they did everything great in here, where both characters were sitting, going into the movie like. I thought it was funny how the second movie took place immediately thereafter of the first movie. This one takes place like 4 or 5 years later, and it seemed pretty spot on to where I thought both characters would be in their lives, and I just thought I just liked the pacing of the movie on how both Harold and Kumar ended up running into each other again, and that led to another night of out of control shenanigans. And at first I didn't like the new characters they introduced, but it kind of like as the movie progressed, it's like this seems like right. They replaced their best friend with new best friends. Of course, they're as non-likable as they should be, if that makes any sense.
I just like Wafflebot, man.
Wafflebot, of course. Freaking, best new character in a movie of 2011.
Well, you know the story behind this movie, right? Why it was a Christmas movie?
Why is that?
Well, originally it wasn't a Christmas movie. Harold and Kumar 3 was supposed to be. I may be wrong on all my details here, but from my understanding is they were supposed to find a bag of weed that belonged to Eazy-E, the rapper, and go on some crazy adventure with that. But apparently, like whoever owns the rights to Eazy-E's likeness and his family or whatever didn't want them to do that, so they had to do a quick rewrite to make this movie. So this isn't even the original plot for the third Harold and Kumar; it's just a rewrite of that script. So I don't know if that impacted it. I like the Harold Kumars. I don't hate them by any means, but they're not like my favorite movies. But Wafflebot's funny as shit. Like that's good stuff.
Yeah.
Then the awesome commercials with the little kids at the beginning. That's like the one thing that saves those movies.
Yeah, the kid commercials and the Doogie Howser musical is pretty damn funny too. And oh man, yeah. All right, number 5, Source Code. This is an interesting concept. I had a feeling going in, just thinking they weren't going to pull it off, but they did. It kind of reminded me a lot of Vantage Point, but a lot better, because it's like they're revisiting the same 10, 20-minute scene and replaying it over and over but the guy through technology is trying to change the past for the better, and
was just trying to prevent a terrorist
attack.
To
prevent another one, and this movie was just like with a lot of the other ones I said, a lot better than I thought it was going to be, and it was more of a thriller than an action movie. I remember I see the cover of this on the DVD and they make it think like it's going to be an action flick, but it's more of a thriller. There's a little bit of action, but just kind of had me.
I'd say suspense more than thriller.
Yeah, suspense. Yeah,
but No, see, I went into this movie, and I think I told you about it. I'm not sure, but the guy that directed this also directed Moon. His name is Duncan Jones, and I really enjoyed Moon. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like one of my favorite sci-fi movies of all time now. So I went into source code, and there's even nods to Moon, and I remember I pointed it out to you when we were watching it. The girl's cell phone, her ringtone for her boyfriend's the same song that plays for the alarm clock in Moon.
Okay. Yeah.
There's little kind of nods to that, and I love Moon. This one didn't make my top 10. I thought it was a really good movie, but it didn't make my top 10. I thought there were other better movies out there this year, but this is definitely one of those ones I'm going to go back and watch a few more times.
Yep. Yeah. I'm going to need to pick it up on video.
Still coming around on Jake Gyllenhaal as well, so...
There you go.
Wasn't a huge fan of him, but...
Yeah, he's starting to grow up a little bit.
Yep.
All right, number 4, Hugo. Yeah, man, Martin Scorsese, holy shit. The guy can do no wrong. Yeah, it's... I don't even know where to start on this movie. I think I just kind of went to it going, it's Martin Scorsese. I don't think I'm really so sold on this trailer, but he can do no wrong. And sure enough, yeah. Set before World War II, I believe, in the 30s or late 20s. And yeah, it just tells a great story of this kid living in a train station, working the clocks, and all of a sudden bumping into a guy who turns out to be one of the pioneers of early filmmaking. And just really, I think the thing I liked the most about this movie was the pacing. Very well paced. It seems a lot of movies just get parts of pacing wrong and skip major plot points, and or just start off slow but all of a sudden just jump ahead way too fast. And this one had very nice gradual pacing. I think it was a longer movie too, so that helps, and really fleshes out all the characters from the kid in the train station to the the tinkerer, who turns out to be the legendary real life early filmmaker, to Sacha Cohen. That's his name, right?
Yeah, Sacha Baron Cohen. I haven't seen this yet, so
yeah, I'm trying to not give away too much. I'm just kind of keeping it to the previews here, but fleshes out his character. Greg gives him a nice little backstory, a little side plot objective for him, so to speak, and yeah, just really like this movie all around. So I guess I'll just go ahead to my number 3 here. And this movie, probably going to say this probably movie's not for everyone for number 3 here, but Courageous. And I'm kind of a sucker for faith-based movies. Leap of Faith I really like, and I know there's a couple others, but this one did it for me. There's some cheesy parts in here, but it's been a long time since I've seen a good faith-based movie, and being a person of faith myself, yeah, I mean it is preaching in some parts, so that's why I'm saying it's not for everybody, but tells a good tale of people, overcoming, personal family crises and going through tough times, through their faith and finding faith. So, if that's your thing, you will probably really like this movie as I did. It gets really powerful in some points, and it's not that common to find movies that are that powerful. So I will leave it at that. Number 2, Fast 5. Holy crap, was this another one came up with the general theme of most of the movies in my top 10. Way better than I thought it would be. Fast and the Furious, or just Fast Furious, or the 4th movie, the last one.
The Fast and Furious, yeah.
No, it was just Fast Furious.
Was it? I don't know. I don't even care.
The way they name these movies is kind of bizarre, but it was okay. It was what I thought it would be. Getting the gang back together, a lot of good car chases, and I thought they made a little bit of a big deal out of GPS, and I thought they should, but like it's this big breakthrough, revolutionary technology. Oh my God, GPS. But no, it kind of got what I thought of. It definitely not like a top 10 caliber of the year movie, but this one, they didn't really do too much with the car chases. There's some of it in here, and just like or drag racing that the previous Fast and Furious movies were known for. I think there's like 1 or 2 little races in there, if I remember right. But it's more of an action and heist movie, more or less. And I don't mind the series going in this direction. They already announced a 6th movie.
There's 2 more.
A second one, too? Okay.
Yeah, 6th and 7th, yeah.
Wow, damn, and I think they even announced the 6th one right before the 5th one came out. That's how confident they were in it. And freaking The Rock's a great addition. At first I was like, alright, they're adding The Rock, cool. Just kind of like how I am when I see the trailers for G.I. Joe 2. I'm like, alright, they're adding The Rock, cool, but he's a great addition to the cast of characters, and they brought back a lot of past faces from the earlier movies, which they made great use of them. And they have a perfectly logical explanation for how they bring back the guy that killed off in Tokyo Drift by saying, this takes place before them.
What's Drift?
So, but unfortunately that makes it impossible for him to bring back the other guy from Tokyo Drift, because I guess he's still in high school at this point, technically then. And
it's probably better we don't mention Tokyo Drift.
I like Tokyo Drift.
Oh,
Sorry, Matt.
I'm not a huge fan of any of these movies, but 5 was good.
The only one I really disliked was Too Fast, Too Furious.
And I actually like that one.
That's it. Just get it on.
It didn't have Vin Diesel in it.
Vin Diesel is pretty good in here.
Vin Diesel can't act his way out of a paper bag. The only role he had that was good was the Iron Giant. He didn't have any lines. Which is basically what he sounds like anyways. I'm sorry, Dale.
I mean, he fits the
Fast 5 was good.
He fits the role perfectly in here for his acting capabilities. This fits.
Me drive car, me punch stuff.
Yeah. Him and Rock, that fight scene was pretty bad.
Yeah, it was. The Rock is good when he's not the main character.
Yeah.
If he's the main actor, the movie usually blows, but
I can get behind that.
Triple H just sucks all around, though. I saw
my God.
Blade 3.
Oh, God. All right. Number 1. Gosh, yeah. I mean, I was thinking about it. I was just putting my top 10 together earlier today. I actually had no idea what was going to be number 1, but when I took the time to, sort them all out, Super 8 rose to the top of the list. I had a feeling this was going to be pretty good, but avoiding it to run with the rest of the movies being surprised me. But no, this was really, really, really good. Great tale of kids.
That's an 80s Spielberg throwback.
Yeah, early 80s. Gosh, I don't even know where to start with this movie. Matt, I'll let you go into this one. I don't know where to hop into this one.
Yeah, this isn't my top 10. I don't want to spoil anything for people who haven't seen it. Like, there's a lot of hype around this when it came out, but I don't want to compare it to modern, like, Goonies-type movies, but that's what J.J. Abrams was going for when he made it. And between just the vibe of the movie, the special effects, just the way it was shot, the way the story's told, I thought it was a great movie, and I couldn't agree with you on that. Like, it's not my number 1. It's in my top 10, but I don't know, man. I don't want to give away too much of the story for somebody who hasn't seen it, because it's one of those, like, it's fun to watch, and it's better if you don't know what to expect.
I remember when reading up on this movie came out to hear what other people's thoughts were. I remember agreeing with a lot of other people saying that, it's hard for movies to have that aspect of children acting.
Well, it's hard to not hate
actors.
the children.
Yeah,
actors.
not hate the children, because usually they try to make children too cocky or too cool.
Well, basically, it's hard to make movies in general with likable characters. Like, horror movies are struggling with that. Like, they always make, like, I'm going to make a group of cocky college kids that people want to see die off. I'm like, I'd like to at least kind of care about the characters that are getting killed in my horror movies. And lately, I'm like, I don't. Yeah. Like, they're all a bunch of assholes, and I'm like, well, fuck it, they did something, and the guy killed them for it. I don't care.
Yep.
So
this one, the children actors are all very likable. I think it captures a sense of being a kid too. It just reminded me a lot of that sense of adventure of being a kid. It seemed like the whole world open to you, and just loved the whole beginning to end of that movie. So number 1 movie of the year, Super 8. All right, Matt, take it away.
All right, now for mine, I don't like ranking movies because I like them a lot, but I did do a top 3. But I'll run through my other top 10, I guess, if you will, without numbering them. So maybe that's kind of a cop-out.
10 through 4, no official order.
Yeah, so we already kind of covered some of them. I'll just throw on the ones. Like, I like these all pretty much equally, so I'll throw them out there. But Cedar Rapids we brought up, X-Men First Class, Super 8. and Mission Impossible we brought up. Yeah. And I liked all those. Like, I can't pick one that I liked more than the other ones. I liked them all about the same. All right. Ones that you didn't bring up, and I know you really haven't watched much of the series, but Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2 is in my top 10. I thought it was a really great way to end the series, and, I mean, that's one of those things they could have made a huge misstep, but I'm glad the Harry Potter franchise ended the way it did. I could have done out without the second ending, if you will, for those who've seen it. I'm sure everybody at this point that knows about that has already seen it, but I really enjoyed it. I couldn't wait for it to come out, and I liked it, and I really don't have a lot to say about it other than it's one of my favorite movies for this year.
Did you end up rewatching all of them before? I remember you watched...
I watched everything up to before Deathly Hallows Part 1 came out, and then I bought the box set a couple of months back, and I'm going to watch them all over again. But another movie, and you were actually going to go watch this a couple days ago, Tucker and Dale vs. Evil made my top 10. I guess this movie has been done and finished for a while now, but it finally hit theaters this year. And I picked that up a month and a half ago, I want to say, when it came out. And it's got Alan Tudyk from Firefly in it, which is Wash, and the guy from Reaper in it, and just good slasher comedy, which those are kind of becoming more abundant, I guess, if you're looking through Netflix. I guess if you start looking through movies, like horror comedy genre is starting to grow, but not very many good ones out there. I really enjoyed this one. There's a lot of good jokes in it.
I was going to watch it last night.
I really enjoyed this one. So another one, kind of an underdog comedy that I kind of hold in the same veins of Take Me Home Tonight in Cedar Rapids and all those, is Our Idiot Brother. Mm-hmm. And I think that a lot of this movie had to do with the likability of Paul Rudd. Yeah. And just his character is awesome in this.
The lovable loser.
Like, he's just a nice guy. It's another one of those movies. It's kind of like an underground. Like, I don't want to say underground. I don't know what the word is.
Cult?
Under the radar, like almost a cult comedy, yeah. I guess. It's just really simple, feel good movie, and just the whole, his dog's name is Willie Nelson, like the guy at the farm. His ex-girlfriend's boyfriend at the farm.
Yeah.
He's like really nice. He's like, hey, like just their friendship is always amusing to me. I don't know the guy's name.
Jason Segel.
What? That's not Jason Segel. He's not in this movie.
No. I thought it was him.
No, you're the wrong movie, man. No, anyways, you're thinking of I Love You, Man. That was Jason Segel and Paul Rudd.
No, I know that was him, but no, I thought he played the guy who ended up working at the candle shop with him.
No, you just gave away the ending too there, Dale. Way to go.
I didn't say that was the ending.
Yeah, well, there you go. But anyways, yeah, so I really like this movie. Dale, spoiler, Dale. Spoiler! Oh, you ruined it, Dale.
It's not even really that much.
Oh, Dale. No, nobody's going to be excited to see it.
It makes no sense.
Anyways. But yeah, that's my top 4 through 10, if you will. My number 3 choice, my top 3 movie, or whatever you want to put forward, is actually Warrior. And I am not a fan of inspirational sports movies. In fact, I hate inspirational sports movies. They're all a dime a dozen. It's always the underdog coming back from victory, blah, blah, blah. But Warrior was different, I thought. Whether it be the fact that it was MMA fighting, I don't know. I just thought all the actors were just right on cue. Like, I wanted to hate the one brother so much, but,
there's something about, like, one-on-one boxing and fighting, like, sports movies that make them kind of stand out a little more from your traditional team sports movies.
I don't like it. I mean, with the exception, of course, like Rocky IV with Ivan Drago. It's Dolph Lundgren, and he's awesome. But I really don't like inspirational sports movies. Like, I don't have a problem with sports movies. Just there's always like 5 or 6 of them out of the year, and it's just like based on a true story, blah blah blah. And like, let's root for them. We'll throw Kurt Russell in every once in a while. But anyways, no, I really liked Warrior, and I was really impressed with that.
Yeah, that was good. I kind of made the one I kind of cut off, kind of like yay or nay, kind of, but it came close to me in my top 10. Just missed.
My number 2 movie was Captain America: The First Avenger. Out of all the comic book movies, I thought they nailed this. Like, out of all the ones I saw, there was a good summer for comic book movies. Yeah, out of all of them, I felt they nailed the tone of this. Joe Johnson did Rocketeer earlier. It's got kind of a similar vibe to that as well. I didn't know if he could pull it off, man. Like, I remember, like, one of the last movies he did that I remember seeing was Jurassic Park 3, which, yeah,
that one another one that came close. I think maybe I kind of kept it away, which made me decide I like X-Men a little more, and just made this one just miss my top 10 ones. It just felt like the love story was just slapped on. I could have done without that.
I liked all of it. I thought it was pretty sad.
I really liked it all.
But the great character development, like the setup for the sequel, set up the Avengers, just everything about this I loved. Just amazing movie. Even for fans of non-comic book movies, it's a good, like, period set action movie, I guess, if you will. But my number one movie, and I raved about this when I saw it, and I still love it, and it was a complete surprise to me how good it was, but Rise of the Planet of the Apes is my number one movie for the year. And, man, to take Planet of the Apes and make it relevant now, especially after the Tim Burton one, and to make it smart and actually enjoyable was surprising me. Like, I like the original ones, the original first movie. The other ones are all right, but this one, I really liked everything about it. And I thought I was going to go into it hating it. James Franco's hit or miss with me. I remember a lot of people were like, oh, the Tim Burton one, blah, blah, blah. But just the way they set this up as a prequel to the original franchise, I loved it. And the Andy Serkis, the CG is amazing. So, and yeah, good stuff if you haven't seen it yet, I guess. Which, Dale, I know, Dale, I tried to talk you into watching it quite a few times.
I said I'd watch it.
It's good stuff.
I guess I just don't want to rush out of the theaters to see it, but not after hearing all the acclaim for it. I'll probably get around to watching it here soon.
But, yeah, that's my top 10. So Rise of the Planet of the Apes, Captain America, and Warrior, my top 3 for the year. Mind you, I still haven't seen, like, Drive or Melancholia.
Yeah.
Like, there's a bunch of independent movies I haven't had a chance to see yet.
I really wanted to see Drive also.
Yeah. Either we don't get them around here or I don't have the time to see them. Like, there's, like, 7 movies I want to see in the theater right now. But.
Yeah. All right. Now, we got a rave. Now we get a rant. All right. Top 5 worst movies of the year. I guess I'll go here. Number 5. And this is one I just remembered I saw. I guess this River of Darkness. Straight to DVD with Kurt Angle leading the way. Co-starring fellow wrestlers Kevin Nash, Sid Vicious, and Glacier. Definitely not that good. I wouldn't say, since it's the number 5 worst one, I wouldn't say it's like abysmal bad as these. I guess my top 3 are for this category, but this is mostly like since the actors are just straight up bad. You could tell that like at least it seems like some of them are trying, and maybe some of them are kind of decent at acting, but kind of like a poor plot and very low very low budget, very little special effects. Looks like they did a lot of tricks to get past a lot of things, and you could tell a movie has a low budget when it's for the DVD when you don't even have an option for subtitles. I was watching it pretty late at night, and some parts the audio levels are
it's got soft audio.
Aren't even with other.
Yeah, it's called soft audio when there's like dialogue gets really quiet. Yeah.
And I was going to put on the subtitles. I'm like, oh, there are no subtitles. Great. And yeah, Kurt Angle. I mean, I'll give him credit. It looked like he was trying, but he's just not that good for a lead sheriff trying to solve the crime.
He was good in Warrior, but he didn't have any lines.
Yeah, he didn't have any lines in Warrior. Just stick to that. But
he's going to be in the Olympics.
Yeah, we'll see. Number 4. Another straight-to-DVD classic starring a wrestler. Knockout with Stone Cold Steve Austin. Yeah. You know, most of the other Stone Cold movies are... Actually, like all of them, is like usually like an action movie or starring role, or a supporting role in an action role. And that's kind of like what he's decent at. But this, he plays an inspirational janitor, leading a kid to fight bullying and helping him fight bullying through boxing. Inspirational sports boxing movie, Matt. This is bad. And like the I guess the thing I really hated was mostly the kid they got who was getting bullied. It was just horrible. Horrible.
You guys can't see me shaking my head at this, I guess.
And he even tries to steal a line from Rocky. Like he's trying to pick up this girl along the way, and he gets.
Does he shout Adrian?
He gets a little after he gets a little kiss at the movie theater. He just bursts out of his seat and just leaps for joy and yells, "Yo, Adrian, I did it!" I'm just cringing. Probably like the most cringeworthy movie.
Does he really do it?
Yeah, he really.
Oh my god, I was just joking. I thought that was a terrible joke at that. So
I cannot come up with that.
Oh god.
I wouldn't even write that if I was making a movie. Yeah. So. Yeah, just a lot of cringeworthy moments, and like even like the big payoff boxing fight at the end was pretty bad too. So, yeah, bad.
God, I don't think I've watched one of these since what the hell was the Knucklehead? The big show.
This wasn't even a WWE film.
No, I don't even. I don't watch any of these anymore. I just know they're not good, so I gave up on them.
Yeah,
I should watch The Chaperone, though.
It's on my queue. I'm pretty sure it's horrible.
That sounds like a shitty movie day movie. We have to have a WWE edition.
The Chaperone and Inside Out back to back. Triple H day.
We got a third movie. Is there a third movie in there? The Reunion? Do we have any other?
Yeah, I got the Reunion.
Just do a 3 for shitty movie day.
WWE Films presents. Oh god.
Oh boy.
Number 3. Matt just brought this up to me earlier. I completely forgot about. We watched it and Rubber. Matt, I'll let you, since you're the one pointing me out to it, I bet you know a lot more on the backstory about this than I do.
Not really, man. I was really sick when we watched this.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I was really sick. It's just this tire, I can't even remember what the tire's name is. It has a name, but it doesn't tell you in the movie, and it suddenly comes to life, and it shakes and makes things blow up. And it goes on a killing spree.
It's about as ridiculous as that sounds, and even I don't know if it is. I'm presuming it's the director. He says right at the beginning.
No, it's not the director.
Oh, it's not.
No, it's just they write the story. It's a movie about nothing. Is that what he said?
Yeah, he says right at the beginning of the movie. This movie is ultimately about nothing. There's going to be questions we're not going to answer, and there's a lot of that. And
this movie would have been great if it was 10 minutes long.
Yeah, it kind of starts off interesting. It's like, okay, let's see where they go.
Yeah, if it was 10 minutes long, it would have been perfect. Like just a short film, but not in a full length film.
And it kind of gave me the idea that the guys making this were like, all right, we're just going to come up with all this ridiculous stuff, and we're not going to even justify or barely justify any of it, and let's just have fun. And a few things kind of work and are kind of got some decent laughs, but for the most part, it's horrible. And halfway through, it was just like, all right, when's this going to end? When's this going to end? And the best part was when it was over.
I was sick. This didn't even make my worst 10.
When you mentioned that, I was like, oh, I forgot I hated that movie.
This did not even make my worst 10, sadly. There were a lot of shitty movies this year. So
yeah. All right, number 2, another Stone Cold straight-to-DVD classic, Tactical Force. Just think of it as a very crappy version of SWAT.
That sounds like a mid-'90s PC game title.
Yeah, it does. It's an old PC game or PS1 budget game or something. But it's horrible. All the characters are extremely unlikable. Stone Cold SWAT unit, and they pretty much bust up a heist, and these robbers are the worst robbers ever. They make them so just so inept and so unlike. Usually I like to root for the robbers, but this one they just make them just so inept and horrible. How the hell are they managing to hold up this grocery store to begin with? And then in comes Stone Cold's SWAT team. All right, well, let's see Stone Cold kick some ass. But him and all his SWAT team members, they all come out with all these cringeworthy, macho catchphrases before they put away all the bad guys and all these horrible jokes that it makes them more unrootable than the robbers. And
that sounds awesome. I don't know what you're talking about.
And I knew it was going to be bad to go in with, but it was a lot worse than I thought it was going to be. And they all end up going through training and having to go to this place, and they're doing their training course, which coincidentally enough is the scene of a drug exchange going on, and shenanigans ensue, and it's all...
I hate when that happens.
All horrible. I know a movie makes my top 5 when it has me watching it at 1.5x 10 minutes in.
Like S. Darko?
S. Darko, yeah. That was pretty bad, yeah. For those that don't know, on the PS3, there's an option to watch movies at 1.5x where the movie plays out, and it'll still play the audio and just slightly faster, obviously, but say I can get through this movie a half hour faster. All right.
I just started shutting them off, man. I tried watching the Fourth Crow movie a couple of months back. What a piece of crap! Eddie Furlong's in it and Tara Reid. I was just maybe I'll give it a shot, and yeah, thank God for the time. I didn't even do the time or 1.5 times. But what do you got, Dale?
Number 1, the granddaddy of the shit. More like the king of shit, the king of fighters. I want to say this is straight to DVD, but I actually saw it on the Video ETA theatrical listing, so maybe it had a limited 10, 20, 30 screen run.
Was that on this year?
Yep, it was. On
I didn't write that down actually.
I
saw that too.
ETA listing hit the theaters early 2011. Came out on DVD I think August, September, and video game movies have tendency to be bad. At least Tekken was decent this year. It was for a video game. It was actually pretty. I got what I wanted out of it. But,
did Tekken come out this year as well?
Yep.
Oh God, I didn't write down either of those.
Yeah, those were ones I forgot because those were Tekken was at least straight to DVD. I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, King of Fighters was so bad. It's a people that don't know about the video game. It's a fighting video game. Obviously, like the other fighting video game movies like Tekken and Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter, they all center around like a fighting tournament. Actually, the Street Fighter movies don't, but the video games are about a fighting tournament. And movies like MK and Tekken and Dead or Alive, they're all about taking place at a fighting tournament to save the world. And here they constantly reference the fighting tournament, and but none of the fights actually take place in a fighting tournament. It's all like around this big mystery.
Something to note that Ray Parks plays the villain in this, and he is awful.
Yes.
Awful in it.
Very awful. And like there's very, very little video game references in here. There's like a couple little nods to the video game, like Terry Bogard's like the trademark character for the game, and he has a signature hat and vest he wears. And,
and it's out of nowhere. It's ridiculous too. I remember.
And like when they go into like I guess you could say the best analogy is their version of the Matrix, their fighting world.
They have an alternate dimension that they fight in, and they all have these little like devices that can teleport them to that dimension,
which are like Bluetooth headsets.
Yes, because that's all they could afford.
Yeah, that's all they could afford, and like they end up dressing up in like their fantasy world outfits that make them look super macho or whatever, and that's when Terry Bogard gets into his trademark orange vest and hat. But the second he teleports in, like a ninja pops out of nowhere and punches the hat right off, and I'm like, no, that's his signature hat. How could it? He only had it on for like 2 seconds. I was pissed. The director must have hated the hat. But
so I remember I bought this movie, and I don't know. I don't think I watched it with you. Actually, I think I watched it before you did. Yeah. But this was like my third movie on a shitty movie day, and everybody had left, and I'm like, I'll give it a shot. I'll try to watch it still. And man, I was drunk as hell, and it was still terrible. Like when you're drunk, like full raging, giggly drunk, and you still can't watch a movie because of how shitty it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was pretty bad.
Sounds bad. Matt, what's yours?
Well, I kind of did a similar thing with my top 10 I did with my bottom 10. I'll just run through it really quick. Once again, these are in no particular order until number 3, but Season of the Witch with Nicolas Cage. Like, I started watching this, and I'm like, I love Ron Perlman. Nicolas Cage is fine with me. I got so bored during this, like, I think 5 minutes in, I just went on my computer and I watched it from a distance just to get it, like, I was like, oh, I'll give it a shot, and yeah, it was pretty bad. Like, this is like Sci-Fi Channel quality, but...
Oh, I love the street sci-fi TV movies.
Ong Bak 3.
Oh, I remember the previews for that.
I watched, like, Ong Bak the Tongue of Warrior, I love. Like, Ong Bak is good stuff. Ong Bak 2 I bought, and it was gonna But 3 is just such a piece of crap. Like, don't even bother with 2 or 3. Like, just don't watch them. I'm glad I didn't buy this. I rented it after how bad 2 was. The Mechanic with Jason Statham and Ben Foster. I watched that, and that is the most boring, like, action-type movie, assassin movie I've ever seen. Like,
I didn't think it was horrible. I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was, like, horrible.
Well, I was... Between everything being cliche, the bad acting, and me just being bored with it, like, everything I've in that movie I'd seen in something else. Like, that could have been, like... That could have been a CBS made-for-TV movie, is how I felt about it.
Right.
Like, nothing special. Like I don't even know how that made it to theaters, like, with how crappy it was. Maybe just Jason Statham being enough of a star. Like, we'll take one of his random straight-to-DVD movies and put it in theatrical run. Like, that's the only thing I could think of that they did. Battle Los Angeles. it's another one of those movies where like they're fighting the aliens in this. And did you see this with me? I don't know if you did. I know like you guys kind of came out on a little higher than I did, but
I not loving it, but just like, yeah, it was all right. Yeah, it was cool, fun popcorn flick, nothing spectacular. That's how I felt about it.
I was thinking like I didn't really like the characters in it at all. And then I something I hate about action movies, especially stuff like this kind of action movies, whereas the first thing you notice about the aliens is like they're almost these undefeatable creatures. Mm-hmm. And the next thing you know, they're popping them off like nothing.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like, it went from, like, we can't kill one of them to all of a sudden we're slaughtering dozens of them coming at us.
Shoot for the heart. That's what we gotta do.
And, there's just stupid one-liners, like bad dialogue, I mean, the special effects are good, but that doesn't even come close to making it. Like, that would have been great if I were 15 and it was 96. Mm-hmm. But, it doesn't cut it now, so.
Yeah, and it has Michelle Rodriguez in it, so that's a knock against it.
Yeah, I know you don't.
Sorry, I'm not a Michelle Rodriguez fan. Except in Machete, she was awesome in Machete. That's like the only thing I've ever enjoyed her in.
But this is just a disappointing movie, I guess. I didn't know what I was going to get out of it. I ended up hating it. Green Lantern. I don't even know where to start with this. Such wasted potential for storytelling. Just everything about this, like the dialogue was bad. Like I like Ryan Reynolds; he's an alright guy. And I like most of the actors in this movie, but I just don't know where this went wrong. Like he doesn't do anything heroic. Everything is just there's no motivation for anything. The ending is stupid, and I don't care how popular the guy is because that's like, oh, Ryan Reynolds is awesome. That's the only good thing I hear about that movie. But it's a shitty movie. I thought it was terrible. Like. Throughout the whole movie, I was just like, oh, man, I can't believe I'm sitting at this. Like, I would have got up and left if I weren't with a group of friends because I thought it was that bad. Yeah. And I usually buy all of these, with the exception of Catwoman. I'm not even going to buy Green Lantern. I may someday, oh, whatever, I'll buy Green Lantern and watch it again because I'm a sucker. But, man, I did not like it. I just...
Was this the worst one?
No, I'm still in my... No, I got more than this.
Yeah, I guess it was Battle. It was like fun popcorn movie. I didn't think it was great. Didn't think it was horrible. Just, all right.
I thought it was dumb enough to hate. I know Ebert actually tore this movie apart.
Oh, wow.
He said, his exact quote from it was, if any of your friends enjoy this movie, tell them they're idiots. And that was his review for it.
Wow.
So, yeah, I'm not the only one that hated it. We're still in my 4th or 10 here, Bad Teacher with Cameron Diaz.
Oh, okay.
And then Jason Segel. I watched this one, and I remember I watched this and Bridesmaids in the same night. Mm-hmm. And Bridesmaids I was surprisingly, thought was alright, which I hear a lot of people either hit or miss with them. But I watched this and I was like, this is just stupid. Like, part of me, I hate Cameron Diaz, but I even had a few beers in me and I still hated this. I was just waiting for it to end.
It's end already.
Yeah, it's just a bad movie. I guess my last of my 4 through 10, I guess, in no order, Conan the Barbarian. I went through this with a buddy, and I think we started tearing on it after about 15 minutes. Openly in the theater, because there was nobody else there. And we just started tearing it apart, and pulled a little MST3K on it.
Oh, nice.
I guess that's the only reason I sat through it, is because we were having so much fun tearing it apart.
Yeah, that wall busting moment was definitely ridiculous.
They're carrying around a goddamn boat.
Carrying a huge boat at half a mile an hour.
Yes, that was one of the first things that I guess the opening was pretty terrible, but they're carrying around this giant ship that the bad guy, the main whatever his name bad guy sleeps in. That's like his home, and he has slaves carrying the ship.
Literally a half a mile an hour.
And I'm fine with that. Whatever. They're carrying a ship.
He's a bad guy. We get it.
But at some point, I'm expected to believe that these slaves that are barely able to hold this ship toss it and knock down a wall that's 15, 20 feet thick of stone.
Yeah, this great wall protecting this town, yeah.
And they knock it down with the ship. Just guys, not any machine or anything. Just some guys carrying a ship managed to throw it through a wall. And I was like, what the fuck are they doing? I'm like, did those guys just throw that ship through the wall?
And it's and it caught them. It caught the city defenses by surprise.
Yes.
The archers couldn't see it coming from 10 miles away.
It's a giant ship.
They couldn't have picked off all the slaves carrying it one by one.
I thought immediately back to Monty Python and the Holy Grail, where the guy's running towards the castle and it keeps doing he's far away and he's near again. But and the other side of that thing is he's trying to get some pieces of a mask. I thought it was like he finally gets the mask together, and he's supposed to gain like this power and stuff in Skull Mountain because like the end where they meet up at the end is like a skull cave, which I like. But he gets this stupid mask, and by the end of the movie, like he doesn't get any powers. Like I can't tell if he got any discernible powers other than sucking at sword fighting and making things collapse. But just. No fault to any of the actors, really. I don't think it was really any of their fault.
I thought the guy they had to play
Jason
Conan
Momoa that played Conan, yeah, he was fine.
He was pretty good.
I thought everybody looked their role, but it just really generic storytelling, really generic backdrop. This could have been any barbarian movie. I mean, like when I see Conan, I know the Schwarzenegger Conan is not more the book Conan, but I give me something else in this.
Yeah.
Like this is pretty generic.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to get into my top 3 worst movies.
Oh, no. If that pissed you off, these last few pissed you off this much. Oh, man.
All right, number 3 is Transformers 3, Dark Side of the Moon. This is not my number 1.
I'll just say I boycotted this.
I tried to get you to see it, yeah.
Matt, and he even tried and rascal up a few other people to sucker me into seeing this. I'm like, nope, I hated the second one so much. I had to boycott it.
The only reason this wasn't my number 1 is because the special effects are pretty good, and there's some actually decent fight scenes in it. That's the only reason that this isn't my worst movie of the year. But, man, it was so long and terrible. I mean, I saw this on the 4th of July, and it just brought down I had an awesome day on the 4th of July until I saw this.
But, Matt, the burning question is, you knew this was going to be bad going
I did,
in.
and I always look forward to that, but this somehow exceeded my expectations of how bad a movie can be. And I'm saying, like
not
the
funny,
robot
cheesy
parts.
bad.
Not the robot parts.
The human parts.
The human parts. You cut the human parts out, I like Transformers. I like robots. What the hell? You know, I'm a nerd. That's what expected of me to like robots, but just everything with Shia LaBeouf and just everything with his family and everybody, the acting is terrible. And I know people that love this movie, and it just like I don't even bring it up around him. Actually, it's the same with Green Lantern. I will not talk around about it because people are like, oh, Ryan Reynolds, oh, Shia LaBeouf. And I'm like, I hate Shia LaBeouf. Like, he's a good actor in some movies, but he's got a shitty personality in real life.
Ruins Transformers, ruins Indiana Jones.
No, George Lucas ruined Indiana Jones. Let's be honest, but. So Transformers 3, like, man, there's some good action scenes in it with the robots, but just stupid storytelling in it. And I mean, I'm sure
if you make a custom clip version of the movie, Matt, just clip
anything with Sam Witwicky and
just put together the awesome action parts, and I'll watch
it. My number 2 worst movie of the year is actually an indie movie that I heard a lot of acclaim for from a bunch of websites, and it's called Bellflower, and you probably don't know that. It's on Instant Watch on Netflix.
Not familiar, no.
God, man, it's when I read about it, it was about 2 buddies that are preparing for the apocalypse by building Mad Max-esque cars. And I'm like, wow, that sounds kind of cool. People building like flamethrowers and cars that shoot flames and shit and their buddies and stuff. And that's what I read into it. And the guy that made the movie made it out with his own custom camera that he built his own camera and filmed it himself. And then I get in it, and it's like a shitty relationship movie. And God, I was so bored, and I don't even know why I finished. I found myself getting angry as I was watching it, just because everybody was stupid in it. And I don't know why I even finished watching this movie, but I guess I rated it so poorly, and I guess I could see why some people, but I rated it so poorly because I don't really watch movies where I start getting angry that the movie sucks so much. And I know you get that way with Transformers, where you actually physically, I can tell you actually get mad about Transformers. But
I think the only 2 movies I got furious at ever, like besides hate, but just straight up pissed, was Transformers 2 and 9. That's about it.
You got mad at 9?
Yeah, the animated 9.
Oh, I like 9.
No,
I don't know why I can see you getting mad at Transformers.
That movie was just so cliche. It was like Terminator ripped off poorly, and like each of the 9 robots or whatever the hell they were so cliche and stereotype characters. It's like, oh, here's the crazy one that's all emo and writes all crazy gibberish. Oh, and here's the dominatrix one who's just all.
There's a dominatrix one?
Just the white one.
I don't know.
And she's like,
you're racist.
What? She's a white colored. You know what I mean? Fuck. Oh, you're the evil man.
I know. I am. I'll agree with you on Transformers, but I can't agree with you on 9, so we'll leave it at it. We agree to disagree.
I know.
That's all good, man.
I guess I could just say just push the right buttons for me.
I don't get how 9 did, but like I said, Transformers I completely understand. But
and usually I'm a pretty nice guy. I give a lot of movies a lot of slack.
Yeah,
but
well, you watch wrestling movies, so
I watch wrestling.
I'm not
movies.
knocking that. I'm just saying you watch.
I still rank in my top 5. But
so Belfort was my second, like I said, just for making me angry while I was watching it. But my worst movie of the year. And I was actually really looking forward to this because I saw like Luc Besson produced it, and Luc Besson and female hitman type movies are usually pretty good. But Colombiana, I went and saw this. I remember when it came out, I was like, "Hey, this looks pretty good, man." I actually really kind of bought into the trailer and everything, and I actually talked a group of friends into going to see this with me.
What was it about again?
A female assassin, like she wanted to kill the person that murdered her family when she was a girl, and I'm like, it's your basic like hitman assassin type setup movie, so I wasn't expecting much out of that. But with Luc Besson attached, I know he didn't direct it or write it, but he did produce it. I'm like, whatever. He did La Femme Nikita, The Professional, and Fifth Element. I kind of cut the guy a little slack, but I remember just between the terrible filmmaking, camera work, directing, storytelling, acting, everything in this was just bad. Like, it was so sloppy. And I'm not against seeing females in the lead, like for female action movies. Like, I'm fine with that. Once again, I like La Femme Nikita, and I like movies like that, I guess. But just something about this, just like, I'm like, how would this even make it to the theater? And I don't get like that with many movies either. I'm like, this is just a shitty movie, and I probably for the fact that I forced 4 other people to go see it with me.
They all wanted to kill you too?
About halfway through, they're like, we should probably leave. And I'm like, okay. And then I know somebody didn't want to leave, so that's the only reason we stuck it out. And I just remember, like, I'd seen this and Don't Be Afraid of the Dark the same day. And Don't Be Afraid of the Dark I thought was a pretty decent movie, but this was just awful. But so my worst 3 was Transformers 3, Bellflower, and Colombiana.
Rubber, Tactical Force, and King of Fighters.
Yep.
Yep.
So you just want to do notable movies? I guess we're going to
do notable.
Kind of maybe things that we thought were like good but not great.
Not quite good enough for good middle, kind of decent. One and done Netflix.
Kind of want to do a round robin here. I'll throw one out, you throw one out down the list.
All right. Yeah, go ahead.
Green Hornet.
Yeah, I got that written down too. Yep.
What'd you think?
I thought it was good, not great, but I thought it was solid. I think I was a little higher on it than you.
I bought it. I did like it. I just thought I've seen better work out of Michel Gondry.
Yeah, I didn't know if I was going to buy into the whole Seth Rogen vigilante thing, but I thought he made it work, and I thought the sidekick, I forget his name,
Kato.
Kato, yeah, he did a damn good job. I thought they made a great tandem, and pretty fun action movie.
I thought it was all right. It was in the middle of the road for me. Like there's stuff I kind of got bored with, but still enough good stuff in there to make a decent, worthwhile movie.
Yeah. All right. Next one, I want to Drive Angry.
We both saw that one.
Yeah,
That's an awesome, bad 3D movie. Worst thing in 3D too.
It just made the chopping block. I almost made my top 10. If I had a top 15, I would have made it. But this is like good fun cheesy.
It's over the top. Like
over the top.
It's weird. The movies that don't take themselves seriously always seem to be the best 3D movies.
And with Nicolas Cage, it could either be super awesome or horrible, but he's pretty damn good in this. Speaking of Nicolas Cage, I'll give a shout out to a movie website, review website, Screened.com. One of the head writers over there, Alex Navarro, he's doing a feature called The Year of Cage. Each week he's going to run down a Nicolas Cage movie, cover, I think he said almost his entire filmography. So, yeah, keep an eye out for that. But, yeah, I just picked it up on Blu-ray a few weeks back, and I intend on watching it here pretty soon. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And
I don't know if I'll buy that one, but I saw it in the theater. I think that's pretty much good for me, so... That was a good pod. Same with Final Destination 5.
Yeah.
Some about Final Destination, like I hated 3, but like 4 and 5 in 3D in the theater are worth watching.
Yeah, they're fun to see. Those ones are just fun to see in the theater.
Yeah, I will never buy them. They're not worth watching otherwise, but if you see it in 3D, that's a good time. Like going to the movies and good popcorn movie, those ones. But
yeah.
I guess my next one is Evangelion 2.0, You Cannot Advance. And Dale, I know you're not going to know this one, but
I don't know.
Throw some anime into the mix here. I got a couple of them, but it's the second in the 4-part reboot of the Evangelion movies, I guess, if you will. But man, they took a turn with this series. Like I haven't watched the original Evangelion in quite a while, so I didn't know what was different. But towards the end, it got pretty crazy. And looking forward to part 3 and 4, which 3 comes out at the end of this year, and 4 at the end of 2013. So quite a way to finish this series up. And I feel like Dale's getting alienated right now because he has no idea what I'm talking about.
Anime. I'm just zoning out, dude. I'm sorry.
Hey, I gotta throw some anime on here, man. Evangelion's the stuff, so it's one of the best of all time. So animation is... I got this on Blu-ray, actually. It's amazing to watch on Blu-ray, but I guess I'll just throw it back to you.
More tree people in this one?
What? No. I made Dale watch Origin. Spirits.
Origin.
Can't remember the whole thing, but yeah, Origin. I actually rebought that on Blu-ray. I still like that. Origin's good, man.
I'm not gonna...
You're not an anime fan,
I'm just not an anime guy. I mean, I get people.
You're not really a fantasy fan movie, to be honest with you. It just seems like fantasy sci-fi is kind of hit or miss on you.
There's some I like the Lord of the Rings movies.
Yeah,
there's some I like. There's some I just can't get into, but which is weird because I like a lot of fantasy games. I can't explain it. But all right, next one for me is Hall Pass.
Oh yeah,
watched this with you just a few months ago, actually. Yeah, this was pretty damn good.
Hall Pass I wasn't gonna ever watch, and I rented it from. I just had it in my queue from Netflix, and it showed up, and I think the scene that everybody goes back to anytime I ever hear anybody talking about this movie is the sneeze.
I don't remember that part.
That's all right, then. I don't want to explain it to you because I don't want to ruin it for it. But anybody who hasn't seen it, the sneeze is the funniest part of the movie. And anybody that has knows what I'm talking about, except for you.
Transformers 2 fails at doing pop brownie jokes. Hall Pass succeeds at doing pop brownie jokes. Right?
Yes.
Am I right?
Yes. That was pretty good.
Yeah, that was really good. I thought it looked like a kind of like, oh gosh, what was the bad Kevin James movie this year where him and Vince Vaughn are like, we're
Zookeeper.
No, we're him and Vince Vaughn are at
Paul Blart.
Borderline.
The Dilemma. That's what it was
dilemmas.
Called. Yeah,
marriage dilemmas.
Dilemma. Yeah.
And I thought this was going to be the same thing. It's like, we'll have a few good laughs in here, but no, this is really good.
No.
All right, I'll throw it back to you.
All right, mine is an Adam Sandler movie that I knew was going to be bad, but somehow didn't make my bottom list. Just Go With It with Jennifer Aniston. I don't even know why I watched this, man.
I know you're a big Adam Sandler fan.
I'm a big old Adam Sandler fan.
I think he still got this thing where he wants to see everything he watches just in case he recaptures his good old days.
That's because I like You Don't Mess With the Zohan. I think I love the last how many movies he's put out. Like I love Billy Madison and Happy Gilmore and even Waterboy and Wedding Singer to that extent. But after that, it's
Bulletproof. Was that?
Bulletproof's hit or miss, man.
I like that.
It's all right, but it's not anywhere up there with Happy Gilmore and Billy Madison. But no, I watch this. I still watch his movies, and I don't even know why I watch them anymore. But
brand loyalty.
God, man, the kids in this movie. We were talking about kids earlier, child actors. The kids in this movies are fucking annoying, man.
Oh, Adam.
Like, it's the worst children actors I've ever seen in this movie. And Nick Swartzen's in this. Nick Swartzen's all right in this movie. So
I don't. Maybe we should bring it up now, just because we're talking about Adam Sandler. But fucking, was it Jack and Jill?
Oh man, I haven't seen it yet.
I saw 5 seconds of the trailer and I was like, nope.
No, I'm gonna set it up a shitty movie day later this year. And I'm gonna have Bucky Larson born to be a star, and Jack and Jill. I'm gonna watch them back to back.
You have fun with that.
I'm gonna get drunk as shit, and I'm gonna do that.
I just remember seeing I kind of jumped to like 30 seconds in the trailer because, like I said,
but they're
Adam
twins.
Sandler's been on this
but they're twins, Dale.
And it's like Adam Sandler's meeting up with his sister, and like his sister turns around and I see it's Adam Sandler, like, no. Turned it off. Is like, this saved me $10.
Yeah, but something out there is I don't drink often, but shitty movie day is just like one of those great things to have a couple friends over and just get shit faced and watch terrible movies. And these just scream. Like, I wanted to go see Bucky Larson in the theater so bad because it got like a 0 rating on the thermometer.
See, it's one of those things where it's a good idea in theory. Where if it's some movies, it's fun to make fun of the jokes, but some movies are just so bad
like Little Hercules in 3D.
You find yourself doing things to avoid watching the movie, like Little Hercules and Double Dragon.
My thing to do to avoid them is pass out.
or just go to the bathroom. Or, hey guys, I'll be right back. I go to the bathroom. No, he's getting out of the movie.
I disappear for a half hour.
You come back for 5 minutes, like, hey, I'm going to make some more drinks. I'll be right back. You're just standing there by the fridge, and you're just BSing with other people in the kitchen. It's like, oh, that bastard. He's getting out of it. You're getting out.
Yes.
I'm going to actually watch this movie. Everyone else is not trying. I'm going to actually watch this.
You'll learn someday, Dale. Anyways, is it mine? Is it on mine, or no? It's back to you, I think.
Okay, I guess I'll bring up Red State. It's Kevin Smith movies. I've seen them. I there's some parts I thought John Goodman. I thought was pretty.
Oh, I didn't
good
realize
in
he was
here.
in that.
Really?
I made it 10 minutes in. I gave up on it.
Yeah, he doesn't get introduced till like about halfway through. He's the guy they bring in to run a SWAT team and try and break up like Kevin Smith's tribute to Waco.
I didn't like the kids in it, man. Like it just, I started watching. Like the kids were terrible. The dialogue was pretty bad. I'm like, Kevin Smith just lost his like. I don't know, man. I don't even give him a chance anymore. I'm just tired of Kevin Smith now. He's lost his glory to me. So.
Yeah, I will say this didn't seem like a. I think towards the end, there's some of his trademark dialogue started to show itself, but like for the most part, I didn't really get that vibe of it being. I guess some of the early stuff does a little bit, but like a traditional Kevin Smith movie. Like,
Well, I'm not even looking for that. I just want good dialogue.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care if it's like his traditional stuff. I just expect him to have good dialogue with his movies, and he hasn't delivered in the past few, so.
I guess there were parts where I thought that was all right, but
Right.
I would say it's disappointing. I wouldn't say I hated it. I'd just say it was disappointing.
I didn't finish it, so I mean, honestly, like part of that was because I needed to go to sleep. But I started watching, I just turned it off. Just wasn't interesting to me, I guess. So I'll give it another shot eventually. But
Yeah, I'd say it's worth at least one watch. But usually I buy all the Kevin Smith movies. I think this is like the first one I didn't buy. I just watched it off. I'm like, it's on InstaQ because for like up until like a few months ago when finally they released it on DVD, Kevin Smith was. I'm gonna say I did not like the way he went about releasing this movie.
he's kind of given himself a bad name this last couple of years.
I think he got tired of his movies are only really capable of bringing in like 10 to 13 million at the box office, and he wanted some extra money. So those same loyal audience that goes out and sees all his movies, I'd say probably like 80% of the people who sees his movies will see his stuff no matter what. I mean, the 20% of the other 20 or quarter of the people that see his movies are people that are like, oh, that looks like a good trailer, I'll see it.
Yeah.
But like that same like 3/4 audience that will see all his stuff, he wanted to get an extra $100 out of them by making it so. Well, the first way we're going to go see this movie is just doing a tour, and I'll do a Q&A before. And I'm going to charge people, was it $75 to go?
Well, that's because he released it himself. He didn't have any studio
yeah,
backing.
he did fund it himself. That's true. I guess I could give him a little slack that way, but still $75.
Yeah.
And then after that, the only way to see it after this tour for like a few months was on demand or through like Vudu or like pay-per-view, like for $10.
Yeah.
And yeah, which was like double the regular rate. So no thanks. And I almost came close to doing it too one day.
You were asking me if I wanted to watch it, and I didn't really
you
want to.
want to go like in like on a PlayStation points card, and I'm glad I didn't too, because I think it was like just like 2 or 3 weeks later it came out on Netflix streaming. Oh, very glad. All right, back to you.
God. I don't know. I'm just thinking of movies I want to bring up, I guess, but I'm just going to throw a bunch of movies out, I guess. I saw Rango, The Adjustment Bureau. We talked about. We both liked Adjustment Bureau. Or did you not see that one?
I don't think I saw
Matt Damon? Adjustment Bureau is good stuff. Good sci-fi movie.
Okay.
I saw The Devil was a Korean kind of detective thriller kind of movie. And I guess, I don't know. That's worth taking. Watch the trailer for it if anybody's interested in that. Paul, you saw Paul, right?
Yep. Yeah, I like Paul.
Yeah, Paul's good stuff. I actually just recently bought that. They just lowered the price on it finally. It's good stuff there. So
yeah, Paul's a fun sci-fi comedy there.
I
Can't go wrong with Simon Pegg.
Throw out a bunch there just to get us going. It's going to take a while otherwise.
Yeah, let's do quick micro blurbs about it.
Yeah, if you want to go ahead and throw like 4 or 5 out.
All right. Limitless. Did you get around to watch it?
I didn't get around to watch it. I was going to watch it.
This was good. It had a few problems with it, but it's fun. Good fun movie about how he goes through recuperating his life through this magic mystery drug. With consequences. Huzzah!
I think the reason I didn't watch this is because I was so tired of that marketing campaign for it.
Yeah.
It's like every time I saw a movie for like the 3 months leading up to it, I saw a trailer for it and I'd see commercials.
Same with that Wall Street sequel. I wanted to see, but like they just... the trailer gave away everything.
I got so tired of hearing about Limitless. I was just like, I don't know, I'm going to wait like a couple of years. I'm so sick of hearing about it. But
I just finally got around to watch it too. Like I waited a while to go see it. Win-win.
I never watched it. We were talking about that.
Yeah, I wrestled in school, so it's not too often you see movies about actual amateur wrestling, and it's told a good, feel-good story about this family taking this kid and raising him on his own, and happened to be a pretty damn good amateur wrestler. So yeah, did the trick for me. I guess I'll throw it back to you.
Sucker Punch, which I believe we both saw. I enjoyed it. I know there are a lot of people like Zack Snyder fan or haters out there, I guess. I like his movies. I don't think they're great by any means, but Sucker Punch I thought was fun.
I'm sorry, Matt. Until you mentioned Rubber, this one was going to be in my worst 5.
Was it seriously?
It just seemed like I love the CG special stuff, but I think he should have just went all out with a special fantasy land they go into whenever they went for the crazy action scenes, and just make a movie about that crazy fantasy land and them being like their own version of Charlie's Angels or whatever. I thought the whole real life story took a backseat to his CG special effects, and I think they could have done a lot more with if they would have just done away with that and went crazy.
Yeah. I liked it, man. I thought it was all right.
I don't hate Zack Snyder. I loved Watchmen and 300.
No, there's a lot of people that hate him for the slow motion CG stuff, but no, I enjoyed all those and this. But I already talked about Source Code Rubber. Hannah was in a kind of a strange movie about a little girl that's trained to be an assassin. Eric Bana's in that as well. I really enjoyed that. Arthur, did you ever see Arthur?
I don't think so.
With Russell Brand? I know that movie didn't do a lot of really good at the box office, but I enjoyed it.
How'd it go again?
It's Arthur. It's
it's
a remake. It's a pampered rich kid who's forced to marry. Otherwise, he loses all of his money. How do you not know Arthur do?
I'm trying to think if I did see. I don't think I have.
Arthur's all right. I'm not going to say it's a must-see, but I thought it was all right. If you like Russell Brand. Your Highness? Did you watch Your Highness?
Yep. I liked it.
Your Highness is it's a.
Didn't think it was great. I thought it was good. Yeah.
That's a tough call to make on that. I
can see how people would not like it.
I equal parts like and dislike with that movie. So
what's his name? Danny McBride.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. He's definitely not for. He's not. I could see he's not for everybody.
Yeah. He's got the same level of comedy in every movie, so it's the same humor. It's the same way I think of Jason Sudeikis. He kind of just plays the same guy regardless of whatever movie he's in. So, but yeah, I'll throw it back to you.
Let's see here. Super. I just got around to watching this actually a couple weeks ago. Just like kind of like a. It was good, but like kind of like a B version of Kick-Ass.
It's a weird movie. It's definitely a weird movie.
Goes definitely in a weird direction towards the end. Kick-Ass is just them being vigilantes, taking on all evildoers, where there's a little bit of that in Super, but in the end it's just him trying to win back his wife from this drug dealer who stole her from him.
Yeah, go Rainn Wilson.
Yeah, Rainn Wilson he was pretty good in here.
Yeah, that was Ellen Page was alright too.
There's definitely, like you said too, there's some pretty big shock moments in here.
Some weird stuff going on in that movie, yeah.
Yeah, that definitely had me scratching my head. I was like, wow, they went there. But yeah, it's one of those one and done. Definitely recommend Netflix it. Check it out. Hobo with a Shotgun.
Oh, I gotta do the voice deal. Hobo with a shotgun. I remember when we did this on a shitty movie night, and I was shit-faced at this movie.
We knew this. We had a good feeling this one was going to be like.
I don't even remember this movie.
Yeah, you got really dude. This is. Fun.
I kept saying hobo with a shotgun too, like the entire movie. I remember.
I had a good buzz watching it. That was probably like the best way to watch it. Have a few beers in you when you see this. This was a blast.
Like me, like 6-7 shots and a few beers.
No pun intended.
Hobo with a shotgun.
Great. It had the best. I think a cheesy one-liner of the year.
Yeah,
I won't even.
Spoil it, but it's at the end, so we can't.
Can't see it. All right, Matt, back to you.
A couple of weird movies here. Legend of the Fist: The Return of Chen Zhen. I watched that movie. Nothing really special there. Just kind of made my way through it. Dylan Dog: Dead of Night, which is an Italian comic book movie. Came out. Brandon Ruth actually played Dylan Dog in it.
I don't think I saw that one. Though.
Yeah, no, I don't even think it went to theater. I think it was intended to go, and it just went straight to DVD. But no, it did go to theater. That's right. Just kind of a weird movie. Kurt Angle's in that one too. I think I told you about.
Oh yeah.
It's a weird movie. 13 Assassins, which is another it's a Takashi Miike movie, a remake. Thought that was pretty decent. Thor.
Yep.
I enjoyed Thor.
Me too.
I liked Captain America better. Thor was all right though. They really pulled it off. I thought.
I don't think
it's not my best.
Seeing the previews, I was a little worried. I didn't.
I was honestly with the fantasy movies. Yeah.
And it kind of starts off. There's I forget like the lab assistant teenage girl who was trying to be there for
Dennings.
Comic relief was just had a few bad jokes. They had a little too much of her in there, but it ended up coming really good,
And she's hot though, so that's all right.
and you can't go wrong with I'm drawing a blank on her name.
Natalie Portman.
Yeah, Natalie Portman. She's awesome and hot and a great actor.
Yeah,
Actress.
Just stare at him. That's
This is a great movie. I don't know what you're talking about.
just pause and stare. She's pretty.
Yeah, it wasn't even like she's hot. It's like, yeah, she's pretty. She's pretty good.
We just lost all the female listeners. If there were any. No, that's terrible. I guess I can throw it back to you. I've already seen like 8 movies now, I guess.
Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides.
That's actually my next one.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Yeah, I thought this was good. Better than the last two, I thought, actually.
I'm not a really big fan of any of them, to be honest.
I really liked the first one. The second two just seemed too much.
I like the second and third better.
I thought the ship battles were awesome. I thought they went on with the action there, but like as far as like the story, just
I'm like, dude, I swear I'm opposite everybody. I remember when Pirates of the Caribbean, the first one came out, everybody's like, "Oh man, Johnny Depp's awesome!" And I finally
only
watched
went to
it.
the first one because I had a free movie pass that came with the video game.
Yeah, everybody's like, "Oh, this is so awesome!" And I watched it, I'm like, it was all right. And I watched the second, I'm like, man, I kind of like these two. And everybody's like, "No, the first one's way better." And I was like, "What?" That's just, I don't know what it is. I like the second and third. This one I thought pretty good, though.
I think there's a thing for, if you don't catch a movie right away, and if you go later when everyone builds up the hype.
I didn't really want to see it, though.
High expectations.
I never wanted to see it. I still...
I find that happening to me a lot. Let's see your Hangover Part 2.
Good.
Yeah, it was good. Though it's like one of those things, though. You see the first one, though, they do enough different stuff here to make it stand on its own, but
I got my laughs out of it, so it was what it was.
I got some good laughs. I didn't even end up buying it on video. I was just like, all right, I don't need to see this again. But it was one of those ones you just need to see once, I think.
I bought it. I enjoy both of them. I think they're both funny, but
yeah, they're both. I really love the first one. And this one was good too. All right, I'll throw it back to you.
We already kind of brought it up. I watched Bridesmaids, and that's kind of hit or miss. It's more of a chick flick, or as I've heard it referred to as the female version of The Hangover, even though it's not nearly as raunchy. But there's some funny scenes in this, I thought.
I still want to see that.
It's all right, man. It's a girl movie, definitely, by most means. But I had a couple beers in me, and I had a couple laughs, so it was all good. Troll Hunter, I just recently watched, actually, on Netflix Instant Queue. Troll Hunter I really enjoyed. Mm-hmm. I don't understand why they're making an American version, but pretty good stuff there. Conan O'Brien Can't Stop. I watched that on Netflix Instant Queue, the documentary.
Okay.
Kind of cool insight into what goes on, like after the NBC final. It's weird seeing him off stage, I guess, if you will.
Yeah, I remember seeing like an interview on him on 60 Minutes where they talked to him.
Yeah.
It's in my queue. I wanted to see that.
I can bring this up with Horrible Bosses.
Yep.
Both enjoyed that.
That was really good.
Charlie Day made that movie, man. Charlie Day makes everything he's in, so, yeah.
Jennifer Aniston was way better than I thought she would be in there, too.
Yeah, she's actually funny in a movie. It's amazing.
Legitimately funny.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that.
Everyone did a pretty good job.
I'll throw another anime out there, Trigun Badlands Rumble. And Dale's staring off into the distance again.
It's your anime, dude. I'm sorry, I just zoned out.
No, that's all right. That's why I was like, no, Trigun, the movie follow-up, kind of like an extended episode, if you will, for this series. But if you like Trigun, it's Trigun. I mean, what are you going to say? Trigun's one of my favorites as well. A lot of really popular anime. So I will throw it back to Dale after that.
What?
Yeah.
Where am I? Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. Tekken. I will refer you to our episode where we review Tekken. Gosh, I want to say it's like 160-ish, right around there. But quick 10-second version, definitely way better than King of Fighters.
Better than it should have been.
Better than it should have been. Yeah, I thought they did There's some parts in there that were kind of have me scratching my head. It's a video game movie after all, but good fights. They actually knew how to make a fighting video game movie in here, and just
still gotta watch Blood Vengeance.
Oh yeah,
I got it. I mean,
I gotta watch that. Yeah, and I'll probably end up buying it because I want to get the
watch it today.
Tekken tag. Yeah. All right. 30 minutes or less.
Hit or miss, man.
Yeah, I liked it. But I heard how other people didn't like it, but I thought they made a good argument. I could see how you could either like it or hate it.
Like I didn't. I like it. It was one of those good but not great. But I was just kind of like I guess I'm getting a little bit burned down on Danny McBride again.
Yeah.
Because I mean, really, he does not have any range. Mm-hmm. And I like Danny McBride. I find him funny, but it's like he's got to do something, otherwise he's going to lose me. I guess. Like how many more movies he's just going to do the same shtick?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I mean, that's what makes Eastbound and Down funny is because it's Eastbound and Down is an exception because of how over the top it is and how shitty he is and everyone is to him.
Mm-hmm.
But just playing the same character in every movie, kind of the white trash redneck loudmouth guy.
I just loved how they pulled off the bank scene in there.
Yeah. There's some awesome stuff in that movie.
There's some good scenes in there, and Facebook guy. Unfortunately, I'm blanking on his name. I love the Facebook reference in there.
Well, I don't know. I don't remember. It's quite a while, I guess, since I've seen that.
No, what's the name of the star actor?
The star actor?
Yeah, that was on Social Network. Yeah,
Jesse Eisenberg.
Yeah. Facebook movie. See how naively says it. All right, back to you.
Attack the Block. It's an English alien invasion movie that takes place in the projects in London. Kind of a weird movie. I like the aliens. Nick Frost from Shaun of the Dead, and Hot Fuzz is in this as well as a drug dealer. So pretty kind of. I guess I got a lot of buzz about this from like some of the sites I go to, and ended up really enjoying. I picked it up and watched it, so that was good stuff. We talked about Final Destination 5. It's a good popcorn movie. I wouldn't see it outside.
Really good 3D.
Fright Night, the remake with Colin Farrell. I was all right, man. It was nice to see. I really enjoyed David Tennant in there, but I'm a Doctor Who fan, so David Tennant's the shit in that movie. The Last Circus is a Spanish. I don't even know how to describe this. Let's just say psychopathic clowns murdering people and each other over a woman that they fall in love with who doesn't want to be with either of them. And I guess there's really, really weird shit in that movie. Now I'll throw it back to you. That was The Last Circus, by the way. Look up the trailer on that one.
All right, Real Steel.
That was all right.
Yeah, it was all right. I was going in expecting to hate it. I ended up not hating it. That's probably the best thing I could say about it.
Yeah. I won't ever buy it.
Not bad. Faint praise. Definitely wasn't going to be as much like Rock'em Sock'em Robots like I thought it would be. Hugh Jackman is pretty damn good at it. They definitely went a little too crazy on the... we were talking earlier about kids not being likable. This kid was not likable.
I thought he was all right. But
I think they exploited the sappy, cheesy...
Let me throw this at you, though.
Face, though.
Okay, so this kid gets in and wins one fight and challenges the champion, and they let him do it.
He won all the underdog fights, though, too, on the indie circuit.
And so what?
He was paying his dues.
No. You don't just walk in. They had no reason to accept this kid.
Because they put him on the spot.
They kind of gave like subtle hints that there was some thing going on between the main guy and the robot, and maybe I missed something in the movie because I didn't really care. But I'm just like, this is stupid. Like, this is really stupid. I don't know, man. The story was pretty generic, but I did enjoy the robot fighting. Which, how can I not enjoy robots fighting?
Yeah,
it takes a lot for me to not like robots fighting. So
well, the main robot fight was pretty cool.
Robot jocks, that's some good stuff. But yeah.
All right, Three Musketeers.
What a dumb movie.
Three Musketeers.
You saw that with me, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Remember we were just kind of tearing on it about halfway in.
Yeah.
Just kind of laughing at how dumb it was.
There was some dumb, ridiculous, this should not be happening moments, but it was a fun spectacle.
The airships?
The airships, yeah, the airship battles.
Yeah, I don't know. What a weird movie that was.
Pirates of the Caribbean in the sky.
Yeah.
And it was like the Four Musketeers, really, kind of.
Yeah.
It was kind of one of those. It was fun to see in the theater. I guess I don't regret seeing it. It's kind of similar as Real Steel. Not bad.
Yeah.
Faint praise.
I will never watch it again, but yeah.
Same here. All right, back to you.
Don't Be Afraid of the Dark. Guillermo del Toro didn't direct, but produced this. I thought it was decent, man. Went with a couple friends on this, and they thought it was pretty good, too. Kind of a little dark. You kind of pick up all vibes of Guillermo del Toro on it, so if you kind of like his style and his uniqueness, I'd definitely check that out. Bunraku. It's got Josh Hartnett, Woody Harrelson, Ron Perlman, Demi Moore. Just like a bunch of big-name actors, and it's a really weird, really, really weird movie, and I can't say whether I thought it was really good or not, but it's definitely colorful, which is something I don't see with these movies. I don't think you saw this, but I saw the remake of The Thing, or the prequel, of The Thing, which I thought was going to be disappointing, and it was. I didn't hate it, but I'm like, man, I'm such a fan of the John Carpenter
that was really good, yeah.
thing. Like, that's one of my all-time favorite movies, and I mean, it's kind of hard to live up to, so...
Yeah.
I just thought the creature ended up looking kind of generic, and the original, like, every form had a different look to it, whereas this one just kind of had a similar look within the few people it inhabited. God, I don't really have a lot of more here.
I got a couple more also here.
Kung Fu Panda 2 I saw. Kung Fu Panda's alright. Not the best movies, but I think Jack Black's entertaining as a giant panda. God, I got one more actually. What do you want to do yours, or should I just throw mine out there?
I'll throw a couple out here.
Okay.
Immortals.
I never got around to seeing that.
I guess I heard so much negative buzz going into this. I probably lowered my expectations and came out going, it was all right. Faint praise, but really good action parts in here, and I didn't mind it. I thought it worked, and some really good action scenes in here that really made it stand out. So not too shabby. I think I got one or two more. Sherlock Holmes, a game of shadows. This one came close to making my top 10. I liked it better than the first, and I really like the first one too.
Oh, actually, I hear a lot of people saying the first one's better, so it's kind of unique. I guess the first one got better reviews. So.
Oh, did it? Oh, I don't know. I guess it's been a while since I've seen the first one too, but I only saw the first one in the theater. But
yeah.
But coming out, I was like, wow, I really, really like this. I liked it better than the first one, and I thought, it's just fun following the mystery, picking up on the little things along the way, and a lot of good special effects. So I'll throw it back to you.
I guess not the most recent movie I've seen, but one of the last ones. I guess I saw Mission Impossible a couple days ago, but actually it was yesterday. I actually saw it, but no, it was the day before yesterday. But anyways, important. The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, the American version,
yes,
which I am like a huge David Fincher fan, and even Trent Reznor, I'm a huge Nine Inch Nails fan. Pretty much everybody knows me knows that. But I like the Swedish version better coming out of this. I did enjoy this. I think it's worth seeing if you haven't seen the Swedish version. But if you have, I'd see this before the Swedish one. It's still a good movie.
I would definitely say I felt a little weird coming out of this, not knowing how to feel about it after seeing the foreign one, because foreign one was great, and I had a feeling like if I wouldn't have seen that, I probably would have really liked this a lot more. But you have that feeling, know what's coming, and they did a few different things in this one.
Well, from what I heard, is this one followed the book more closely, and I think that's almost to a fault. Like, something seemed off about the entire thing.
It seemed like they could have probably chopped off 10, 15 minutes maybe
here or there.
Yeah, just a couple extended scenes.
Yeah, I enjoyed the Swedish trilogy. It's the same way I felt about Let the Right One In and Let Me In. I really enjoyed the foreign version, and then I watched the American, and it was good in its own way. It was its own thing, but I still like the foreign one better. Mm-hmm. But and that's surprising for me because I'm a huge David Fincher fan. So, Fight Club and Seven are two of my all-time top movies. So, but yeah, that's it for me, man.
All right, I think I got two more, and then I'm good. Page One inside the New York Times. It was a documentary I saw on Netflix. I saw getting some good buzz on Twitter there, so I checked it out. And gives a good scene behind the newspaper industry and how a lot of them are dying, and how the New York Times is still managing to survive and thrive. So, yeah, if that kind of thing interests you, I'd recommend checking it out. It's pretty fascinating. And this last one, a few weeks back. Norm Macdonald, me doing stand-up.
Oh, are we counting that?
I saw it came out in 2011. I didn't know if I should count it or not, but I just kind of threw it on at the end, just kind of...
Well, I guess I watched that too, yeah.
I kind of put a question mark on it, not knowing to count it as a movie or not.
It's Norm Macdonald.
Yeah, Norm Macdonald. I'm a big Norm Macdonald fan, going back to his SNL days and doing the weekly update, or weekend update. And
yep.
I'm a huge fan of Dirty Work and Screwed, so I've never seen Norm Macdonald do stand-up before. Let's check this out. And pretty good.
He's kind of weird. He does some dark stuff in there, so I enjoy him though.
So what else is San Francisco popular for? I'm going to leave it at that.
Yeah. But yes, that's for all those that stuck around. I guess that was our movies of 2011 special. So
yeah.
I guess I'll throw it out there, too, since I do a shitty movie day or night or whatever it ends up being. maybe once a month. If any of you guys have any suggestions out there, feel free to email Dale.
What's the email address, Matt?
I don't know.
What?
No.
Mailbag at ontappodcast.com. Or follow us on Twitter.
Yes, there you go. Dale's throwing it out there.
At Gruel.
Seriously, though, I need some more shitty movies. I'm kind of running out. I'm going to have to watch WWE movies, and I'm not looking forward to that.
Send Matt your picks. WWE Marathon, here we come.
Yep. All right.
All right, cool. Thanks, everyone, for listening. We hope you enjoyed it. And we'll talk to you all next time. Later.
Bye.